Lower to the grave, tell you like it is to your face, she don't play. Every chick down for it all, know that she a boss. No competition, no loss. From the Midwest to the A, Autumn got you tuning in, no delay. Ooh, get you right every time. Keep you laughing on a dime. Tell you truth, no lies. So you can live your best life. Cover all topics, no limits. Got some for your mama and your children, no holding back. No gimmicks, coming on strong, get straight to business. Oh yeah. What she wanna do? Live life, live life. She live what she wanna do. Live life, live life, live life. What she wanna do? Live life, live life. She live what she wanna do. Live life, live life, live life. Live life, live life.
Hey, it's your girl Autumn, and I welcome you back to the Lit Life Podcast, where I encourage you to live your life autonomously. Happy New Year, niggas. Like, did y'all miss me? Like, did you miss me? So, first of all, first things first, if you are new to the show, welcome. You have a good, probably about 100 episodes that you can definitely catch up on. I know this says episode 90, but I have had plenty of bonus episodes. So feel free to take some time to check me out, because you're here for a reason. So you want to hear me, go ahead and hear me. All right. Also, if you are a returning listener, I just want to say that I really appreciate y'all. Like, thanks for coming back to kick it with me and my bullshit. Because, it just be a bunch of damn bullshit, right? And shout out to everybody that's been like, hey, yo, where is the Lit Life Podcast? Like, what the fuck is going on? The DMs, the people on the TL. It's been a wild ride. Like, I know that I have not done this. Oh, let's see. I haven't been on this microphone in 2 months. Maybe, in 2 months. It's been 2 months. So I'm back. Season 7. It was definitely something else I was supposed to say right then and there, and I honestly do not remember. So I'm back. It's me, y'all. It's like really me, right? So, anyways, I usually open up the show with, that's what I wanted to say. Let me go back. If you are watching me on YouTube right now, shout out to you. Like, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for hitting the subscribe button, because that's how you know that that there's a video here. If you are not watching on YouTube, you don't listen. I care, but I don't. Like, you don't have to watch this on YouTube. All I'm going to ask you to do as a favor to me is just go and subscribe to the channel. That's it. Just go subscribe to the channel. I am planning on doing more with my YouTube channel. So I need to grow the followers, the subscribers. I need to do all of that. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, just go ahead, subscribe. If you want to listen on Spotify, if you want to listen on wherever the hell you listen, if you want to go to litlifepodcast.com and listen on there, you could do that as well. So I don't care how you listen, as long as you get it. All I'm asking is to just go hit the subscribe button. All right. Who else? Oh, shout out to real quick to my people who are, I'm a little high, y'all. Y'all know how I do. I'm over here tripping over my words and shit. But my people over on Tag, like, shout out to y'all. So let me tell y'all real quick, like, I go live on Tag all the time. And for a minute, I felt bad, because I'm like, am I neglecting my podcast because I'm going live on Tag? And I had to just say no, because I really don't really be doing shit over there, but just randomly talking to people. Like, it's so easy to do. I don't have to plan anything or anything like that. It's literally just like a social outlet for me, and I've met some cool ass people on there, and it's like being in one big ass group chat. So anyways, shout out to y'all. If you're here from Tagged, if this is your first time, like, I hope that this podcast is what keeps you listening. Like, again, I have over 100 episodes. Go listen to 1 or 2 or 10 like this week. All right, so typically, like I was saying, I usually open up the podcast with how I've been doing, what's been going on, especially since it's been 2 months since I've been here. But this podcast is just about that. It's exactly about what has happened actually over the past 6 months. So, I don't know. I might be a little long-winded. I'm gonna try to still keep this within an hour. But it was a wild ride. Now, another thing for the new people who are listening. Typically, after I talk about what's been going on with me, I get into everybody's favorite part of the show, which is the Shut the Fuck Up Award. But I'm not going to get into it right now. It is definitely going to happen at some point in the show, but I can't do it right now. Like, I have to tell the story and then I have to do it. So hopefully y'all get to the Shut the Fuck Up Award. It's going to be what you want it to be. So let's talk about it. Y'all saw the cover art, or you saw my tweet on Christmas, or you saw my Instagram post on Christmas, or you saw my Facebook post on Christmas. Your girl over here, Joe, we did it, Joe. Like, I still can't believe that I am a homeowner. Like, I still don't think that it has hit me yet. And I think that it's because of how I got here and how I feel, like how my body is right now. Like, I can't, I've heard all these stories of people like, yeah, when I bought my first house, I walked in and I just instantly started crying. And, I was just so emotional, or I pulled away from the house and I was emotional, or I cried at the closing table, or whatever have you. I ain't did none of that shit. And it's not like I'm like, a closed off, it's not like I don't have emotions. Cause if you follow me on Twitter, you already know, like, every other day I'll be like, this some bullshit and I'll be ready to cry. So I have not gotten to that point yet, but maybe after I tell this story, you will maybe see why, and maybe I'll even see why. I don't know. And shout out real quick to everybody that is listening to this podcast that has basically heard this story or bits and pieces of this story like 50, 11 times. Like, my whole podcast happy hour crew, Rhonda and Lovey and Alicia and Sans, like, all of y'all that have heard this story, but you are tuning in anyway, man. That's why I fuck with y'all. This is the exact reason why I fuck with y'all, because I love y'all niggas and y'all really helped me through all of this. So it feels really funny not doing a Shut the Fuck Up Award right there. But anyways, I started this journey of buying a house. And I was going to say in June of 2021, but actually it's been a lot longer than that. Um I, I've always had, like, I've always been a little bit conflicted about buying a house. And at first I think it was mainly because I knew that I wasn't in a position to do it, right? So, like, it's like it's like, I don't need that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need, like, I will always have people be like, "Why are you renting?" First of all, bitch, why are you not minding your business? Like, that type of stuff, like, you just, like, how do you come out of your mouth and just ask somebody that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what the fuck is going on with them. Case in point, me. My credit was fucked up. And I have a episode on credit and how I rebuild my credit, and this is one of the reasons why I did it. That if I remember, I'll link it to the show notes or whatever. If I don't remember, just scroll down the damn list on the website. So that was one part. The second part was I didn't think I could afford it. The third part was, I always heard about having to put all this money down. I knew I didn't have that. So, you know what I'm saying? It was so at first it was just kind of like like you can't do it, right? You can't do it. Then when I moved to Georgia, which was 6 years ago, um and I was renting, like I said, I my credit was bad, but I ended up, I was able to get into like a twin plex, or well, they call them duplexes here, a little side by side situation where I was living in Lawrenceville. And then I had my issues there, and then I moved to Marietta, and then I'm like, that second, like, that was a townhome, and although I got along really well with my neighbor, the my landlord was like, I don't really want to say that he was trash, because like I don't feel like he was a trash person, but I feel like he was a very trash landlord. Like there was literally like squirrels having a whole ass, like, they like them niggas lived in the attic, like they pay rent. Okay. And they were messing up everything. And I'm sorry, y'all, I sound nasally, but I get to that later too. Um, but he was the type of landlord that he would just let things just go, like go and go and go until they couldn't go anymore. I told him about the air conditioning. I'm like, listen, like, this air conditioning is not, like, I literally had to buy what you call it, a air conditioner, like a window unit air conditioner at one point in time. And like, he literally gave me a fan. Like, when I told him he literally gave me a fan. Like, it's shit like that, right? A couple of weeks later, the shit went out. A couple of weeks later, after I got the air conditioner for the window, the whole unit went out. So now he had to come and maintenance it and do whatever, because like you were gonna have to do that anyway. But anyways, then I moved to around the corner from that place and was in a decent place. So, and I was there maybe almost a year before I started. No, a little after a year before I started seriously considering buying a home. What were the deciding factors? The very first deciding factor, and which is why I told you about the other 3 places that I lived while I was here in Georgia, is I like what I like. Okay. So wherever I am living, I want to be able to, like, I don't mind spending the money that I need to spend to make it so that it's perfect for me. Right. Like, I'm going to put whatever type of blinds I want up. If I want to paint, I'm going to do that. Like, stuff like that. But it started to make me feel a way knowing that I was doing this in somebody else's shit, because ultimately this is not my shit. You understand what I'm saying? So that was the first thing. The second thing was one day, like, I was thinking about it. It was like maybe a couple of weeks. I had just had the thought, right? And then my new landlord, who she's actually a really good landlord. Like, I've had a couple of issues there. Like, the refrigerator went out. She had a refrigerator shipped. I mean, this is what landlords are supposed to do, but y'all know a lot of these niggas be trash. And she was all the way like in California or some shit, and she was still taking care of business. Like, there was the hot water tank went out. She had someone come and replace that. Like, I mean, she was really like on her shit, right? But I just felt, I got a text from her one day, and she was saying, "Hey, I'm gonna be in town, and I'd like to meet you. I want to come and take a look at the property." But it was just so, like, very random. Very random. Now, about a month before that, the neighbor who I was connected to sold her townhome and moved to California. And I think I told y'all about that. Like, again, I've told y'all bits and pieces about shit. So anyway, she moved to California because she had a fucking stalker. Like, she was like in her 70s, y'all. And she had this fucking doctor or whoever the fuck stalking her. Shit was wild. So she moved. And then, like I said, a month later or maybe 3 weeks later or whatever, I get a call, I get the text from my landlord, and it just didn't sit right. It just didn't sit right with me, right? So, I was talking to the group chat, I'm talking to my other friends, I'm talking, and I'm just like, you know what? I think it's just time to do this. Like, I think it's just time. Like, I had, I had just got a new job. What I mean? It was like, it was just time, right? So that happened. My landlord came to the townhome and met, and she, again, nice person, and it was her and like some family member, niece or something in law or something, who just so happened to be moving to Marietta. And she said that her whole family lived around there. And then they were like they never asked to come in, but they were taking like weird pictures. Like, they took a picture in the back, like in the backyard up on the deck. And then they took a picture up on the front stairs. It was just all very fucking weird. Like, tell me if y'all don't feel like this was weird. That shit was weird to me. So I'm just like, all right, well, whatever. So again, I'm like, all right, niggas, it's time. Let me go ahead. So I think I tweeted and asked if anybody like knew any realtors or something like that. And that's when I met my realtor, Sharon. And I'm like, we already knew each other on Twitter or whatever. And she's like the best ever. Like, she was so very patient with me throughout this whole process. She, got me to the right people. She made, she did everything that she could until she couldn't anymore. So, and I'll get to that in a minute. So anyways, I'm in the process of, I've applied and I've gotten, an approval, and I'm just like, I still can't believe it. I'm like, oh my God, this shit is really happening. It was a lot. Now, I had started looking maybe I had been looking maybe a couple of weeks. And then 4th of July weekend, when Jay and Audrey were in Atlanta, my new neighbors moved in. Now, I've been telling y'all bits and pieces about these damn ghetto ass neighbors. And again, it really ain't that, because I'm a little ghetto myself. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this, right? It's just when it starts to interfere with everybody else in the neighborhood, like, that's where I draw the line. Like, I don't give a fuck how much you party. I don't care how loud you are. Like, I don't care about any of that, as long as I'm still going to be able to sleep when I need to sleep, and I'm going to be able to have some peace when I need to have some peace. And these niggas, it's like they moved in and there goes the neighborhood. Like, the police been over there, and y'all know how much weed I be having. Like, y'all know this. Like, I don't need the police knocking on my door. Like, I don't need any of this. Like, I don't I mean, they fought, like, they were having parties, like, the fucking whole, like, everybody's driveways are blocked off, like, their house. I mean, it was literally so fucking stupid. Like, I just didn't understand how people don't have common courtesy, right? So again, it didn't do anything for me but to want to move again. Not to want to move, but to want to have my own shit where I'm not attached to anybody. Like, it was literally one of the main driving factors. The next driving factor was, back to my landlord now. Randomly after she left, I got, was it a phone call or email, some sort of communication from a management company. Okay. The management company is now the management company of this property. Did I hear that from my landlord first? No. I'm thinking somebody trying to scam my ass. So I done had to contact her. And she's like, yeah, I just couldn't handle it anymore. You know, I've been in wherever the fuck overseas somewhere. Okay, bitch. All you had to do was send a text or, give me a call and say, hey, this is, this, I still own the property. And cause I sure asked her, like, if you still own the property, like, and because I felt like she was selling it, like, and she said, yeah, but something just told, y'all, why would she lie? I don't know, but I just had a bad feeling about it. Like, I just had a very bad feeling about all of it. And so this management company had to come and do an inspection, which I can't remember the last time I lived somewhere like in the past 10 years where I've had an actual like inspection that wasn't like an apartment building. And plus it was weird because it was like I was already there. Like, what are you inspecting? Like, I don't know. Maybe I was overdoing it because I was just ready to get the fuck. But so that shit was weird. And them folks have gotten on my nerves. Like, they are still getting on my nerves. But anyways, I'll get to that. So those were the deciding factors of me. And I think that, and I wanted to tell you guys that because if you are thinking about buying a home, or if you feel like you just can't do it, or you feel like it's just not your time, or you don't feel like you have enough reasons, you know what I'm saying? I just want to let you know that the time, when it's time, it's time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I honestly never thought I would buy a house. And it was even after I knew that I could, I just never thought I would. I'm single. I don't have anybody here to help me with anything. I have to take care of this shit myself. And I just figure it would be more easier on me if I just lived in, something that was rented, lived in an apartment or a condo or something like that. That was my next move. Like, I was literally looking at like condos and, shit like that. But then again, I just got to thinking, like, I'm just tired. Like, I know that I'm going to have to take on a big responsibility, especially doing this by myself, but I'll pay for peace. I'll pay for peace. You understand what I'm saying? So again, that was one of the other deciding factors. So moving along, again, all of this started in like June. The housing market is so fucked up. The housing market is so fucked up, y'all. Like, first of all, the houses have like the prices of the homes are through the roof. And unless you're paying cash, unless you are making an offer above what anybody else has offered, and it's a cash offer, it's not a FHA loan or a veteran loan, whatever that is. And even in some instances, conventional loans. Like, if there's an investor that's coming along and they're showing them the cash, like, you're not going to get that house. And this is what I went through from like the beginning of June until November. Nobody accepting my contract. And throughout the whole time, my lender is raising the amount that I can borrow. like my lender raised like from the initial like offering, the lender raised it probably like 60 or 70,000 as an amount that I could which in looking at like how much the mortgage and all that would have been, I was not trying to spend, I wasn't trying to do that. Like, I don't want to buy no house and be just out here straight up struggling. Like, that's not what the fuck I'm out here trying to do. I wanted to find something that was, within a certain amount of my damn rent that I was paying. And, I knew it was going to be more, but I wasn't trying to like double it, or what I'm saying, I wasn't trying to do that. So I still, at some point, like I had to change realtors, and so Sharon gave me to a trusted realtor that was in the business that she, in the company that she was in, and he was great, you know what I'm saying. But I just it was just wild. Like, all of it was wild. And I'm just saying this wild because I lost my train of thought. So I'm gonna move on. Now, I went through all of that. And I was about to give up. I was like, so this was probably, let's see, August, September, maybe October. End of September, beginning of October. I was like, you know what? I'm about to take a break. Like, I can't. Like, every single weekend, maybe Saturday and Sunday, I am driving to the area, which is 45 minutes to an hour away from, turn that heater off, away from where I was currently living. And I'm seeing, between 3 and 5 houses each trip. And I am submitting contracts for, at the very least, 2 of them. Like, after a while, all the houses started looking the same. Like, all the 3 bedrooms started looking the same. All the 4 bedrooms started looking the same. And if it's something unique about it, you just best believe you're like, I saw a house that was a ranch style house, but it was like, it kind of set up like it was elevated. So it had a deck that stood way up off from the ground, and it also had a basement. You don't see too many basements in Georgia. Like, you just don't. I wanted that house so bad. Did I get it? No. So fuck them. But anyways, so just imagine how many houses I went to go see, y'all. I was fucking tired. I was tired. So my realtor, they're like, okay, hey, because I haven't had an FHA loan, and they're like, see if you can get a conventional loan. Okay, I could get the conventional loan, but the conventional loan wants me to pay more down. Like, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't do that right now. So I stuck with my FHA loan. So something told me to call this other realtor that I knew, just to like run it by her, like to see what challenges she was having. So again, this was probably end of September, beginning of October. And she said, I'm dealing with the exact same thing. She said, but I just sold my house. And it's funny that I didn't know this as a realtor, but there's this program called Ribbon Homes. And she said, let me tell you what Ribbon Homes do. She said, when I looked at the contract that was submitted, I noticed that it was submitted for well over the amount that I listed it for, and it was a guaranteed cash offer. What Ribbon Homes does, they will, like, you have, so your realtor has to know about it. Your realtor has to enroll in like this little class, whatever. I guess it's free. They have to do like the little class, whatever, and little question and answer, whatever the fuck. And then they, like, you're automatically certified to be in this program. So You go and look at a house. Let's just say, I'm just going to put a number out there. Let's just say the house is $200,000. Okay. You put it in their system and they are going to see how much they will determine how much they will pay for it. Like they will determine the worth, like what they think it's worth. In most cases, they're going to say that it's worth more than what it's listed at. Okay. Which gives you an advantage to getting it. Now, if you know anything about like mortgage loans, so the one thing that I learned is that how does it work? If the like you have to get an appraisal and all that good stuff, and if the appraisal comes back lower than what you offered or whatever, basically they're only going to pay what the appraisal says. So if you know the house was on the market for $200,000 and the appraisal came back for 190, they're only going to pay 190 and you have to pay the extra $10,000 out of pocket, right? So Ribbon Homes guarantees that that's not going to happen. Ribbon Homes says this is how much we are willing to pay, $250,000 for this house. If the appraisal comes back lower than 250, we pay the difference. Now, it all sounds too good to be true. There are some stipulations. The program initially, from the way that I understood it, was kind of started for like people who could not get a loan initially. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like it gave me initially like rent to own scam is what it gave me, because you know like there's a lot of scams out here that tell you that they can rent, you know, you can rent to own, and you enter into this contract and you say by X date I will be able to go, you know, my credit will be fine, everything will be everything, and I'll be able to go and get a loan, and when I get a loan I'll buy this house at whatever the value it's set at that time. And a lot of times people don't get their credit and shit together and it doesn't work. It all falls through. So they put it back on the market and do the exact same thing. So it's low key a scam. It's like they kind of prey on people. I had to talk to several people at Ribbon Homes so that I made sure that I understood this, because if you have a loan and you're approved for the loan, that's fine. As long as nothing happens, like as you know, you get all the way to close and you're able to close on that house, what you owe Ribbon Homes is 1% of the purchase price of the house. Okay. You owe them 1%. So that's how much they are charging for you to guarantee a cash loan, to guarantee a cash offer. That's what they're offering. I hope that y'all are able to follow that, like, because it's kind of a lot. Now, the other flip side of it is, like I said, if you can't, it gives me the rent to own scam vibes. If you can't, like if something happens and you don't get to like after the contract has been accepted and you know it's not due to like anything with like, you know, appraisal related or anything like that, it's like on you, like your loan falls through, you have to rent from them. You have to rent that house. So you have to rent that house at the market rent rate, which is way higher than what a mortgage is going to be. And they give you 6 months. And if you cannot buy the house in 6 months, then you're shit out of luck. Like you got to move and do something else. Like they're not going to let you do it. So of course, my scary ass, I'm so scared, like not necessarily scared, but I'm like just anxious. Like, what if something happens? Like, because again, all of this shit is still a little kind of too good to be, like, not too good to be true, but it's still kind of like, wow, like I'm about to get a house. Wow, wow. But I couldn't even find one for real because nobody wanted to accept my contract because I didn't have cash. So I was like, you know what? if I have to scrape up, another 1% or whatever, I'm gonna just go ahead and do it. Like if this is gonna give me an edge, I'm going to do it. I submitted probably maybe 4 contracts, maybe 3 before one of them got accepted. I couldn't fucking believe it. Now, we submitted the damn contract for well over. I want to say it was a lot. Like well over. We submitted the contract for whatever Ribbon Homes approved it for, because again, we knew that they were going to pay whatever the difference was if the appraisal came back low. Cool. Bet. It is what it is. Everything's going fine. What's his name? My realtor is like, okay, send me the email for it to get the inspection scheduled. That's another thing those cash offers people were doing. Like they were buying these houses with no inspection or nothing. But again, they're contractors, so they kind of know what they're getting into, like when they go and look or whatever. But anyways, I get over to meet them for the fucking inspection, y'all. And he's like, I have something to tell you, but I'm not going to tell you until after we go and do through this walkthrough. So I'm thinking to myself, why the fuck did you even say that? Like you might as well just not have said anything, right? After the inspection guy leaves, we're standing in the living room and he's telling me that Ribbon Homes have pulled out of the deal because let me go on and play it. Shut the fuck up. God damn, nigga. The Shut the Fuck Up award goes to Ribbon Homes, who decided that they were going to pull out of my contract because the subdivision of the house that I was buying is at its rental capacity, and they are not accepting any new contractors or anybody that is leasing or that's going to lease the home or that's going to rent the home. Which goes back to the reason why I kept calling them, because I didn't understand. I'm like, I didn't have just a regular pre-approval. I had a guaranteed pre-approval. Like I talked to the mortgage company about this so many times. Like, okay, tell me exactly what that means. Like, because I know that you guys have to do a final check. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, yeah, but this means that basically we're going to go off of everything that you've already submitted us, like, or guaranteed. He's like, it's guaranteed. Like your loan is guaranteed. There, we don't foresee anything happening unless you go and open up some sort of accounts or something like that somewhere where this will fall through. If it looks like it might be shaky, then we wouldn't have given you a guaranteed approval or whatever. So if they were able to make me understand what a guaranteed approval is, why couldn't Ribbon Homes understand that? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, so, but so they get the Shut the Fuck Up award because it still doesn't really make sense to me. And there was, and like I actually read through their shit and I knew, again, I talked to them so many times and I knew about the whole renting situation. Should something happen, I have to rent. Like I knew about all that, but I was confident that shit wasn't going to happen. And I can understand them, being in the business and seeing things fold at the closing table. But it was just crazy. Now, I'm telling them to shut the fuck up, but I do still think that it's a good program. Like, I think that if you can afford it, you know what I'm saying? If you can afford that extra 1% or whatever it is, like, it's literally what got me into this contract. Now, let me get back to it. So then I'm like, what? They put what? So I'm about to cry because I didn't already paid for this inspection and I was just like really over it. But he said that the sellers were okay. He said the sellers are okay with this. You know what I'm saying? We'll we'll get the appraisal and we'll do some negotiations from there. Well, the appraisal came back lower than the purchase price, y'all. I mean, from lower than the listing price, y'all. So the damn sellers were not they were not okay. So here I am stressing again, like, oh my God, are they going to throw this contract out? But we were so far into the process. And that's what my realtors kept saying, like, you're too far into the process. Like, they're not going to back out at this point. You know, they've got an appraisal. That appraisal is going to stick to the house for X amount of months. Like, they're not going to be able to sell it for what they really want to sell it for. So it just is what it is. They tried to like have them look at the appraisal again and for them to redo the appraisal, and they wouldn't. So we ended up moving forward. Y'all, this has been crazy. So the final part of all of this, two final parts. Okay. So like the second to the final part. Thursday night. Okay. So I closed on December 17th, which is a Friday. Thursday night, I wasn't feeling well. Now, honestly, and when I really think back to it, it all kind of started on Wednesday. But y'all know, if you know me, you know I have sinus, which is probably why my nose sounds all nasally now. I have, allergies, asthma. Like, I'm just like, I just have all of these things. And my sinus has been so bad in Georgia. Like, since I've moved to Georgia, it's just been so bad. So Wednesday, I felt a little yucky. Thursday, I felt like I was trying to get a little like headache and I was feeling like just yucky, but I also felt like it was nerves. You know what I'm saying? Like, tomorrow's the big day. I'm just feeling, you know what I mean? Like, it's just all nerves. Like, you know how you literally can be sick just from, stress and anxiety and shit like that. Thursday night, I couldn't sleep. Again, I'm thinking that this is all related or whatever. Now, not gonna lie, I was sweating. Like, I'm like, damn, do I have a fever? Like, okay, let me see. I'll see how I feel in the morning. I got up in the morning. I had to be like an hour and 15 minutes away. Like, I had an hour and 15-minute drive. I got up earlier than I thought I would, and it was really just because I couldn't sleep. And I wasn't feeling super duper horrible at first. But as I started moving around, I'm like, man, why is my face hurting like this? Like, oh, so I'm digging and looking through my sinus medicine, found some, took it. I got in the car. I was like, let me just head on down here. I drove about 2 miles and pulled over because there was no way. I mean, I could have made it. But it would have just been it just wouldn't have been cool. Like, so I pulled over. I have a friend of mine that lives like maybe 2-3 miles from where I was living at, and was like, hey, can you take me here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I put gas in your car, whatever it is I need to do, I buy you lunch, whatever. Can you take me here? I'm like, my sinuses are it's so bad right now. Like, I mean, it was so bad, y'all. We get there, I go in, to sign all the paperwork, everything's everything. I still couldn't get excited. Like, because I just didn't fucking feel good. I get to I get home, like I get back to the townhouse. And I was like, I'm just gonna lay down. Like, I'm not gonna do shit because at first I was gonna go and I was gonna go over to the place. I was gonna, grab some stuff. I was gonna start moving or whatever. The next morning I wake up, I'm feeling even worse. I had 3 people tell me, bro, you might want to get a COVID test. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is some old, bullshit sign and shit. Nah, you might want to go ahead and get a test. So I go to CVS, and this was right before all of the tests started selling out. Like, y'all remember that? Like it everything, like you couldn't find a COVID test in the store. So I went, they had 3 boxes. I got 2, and it's 2 to a box. Swab my nose, and what it say? I got the motherfucking vid. I'm like, nigga, no, like this is the wrong fucking time. So I called everybody. Like I called my friend who took me. I reached out to my realtor. I'm like, listen, this is what it is. I'm like, but I'm gonna test again in the morning. I had to tell my plug because I think I had seen him on like Wednesday or Tuesday or some shit. Like, I'm instantly thinking of anybody that I've been in contact with, like at least over the last week, so that I can tell them that, I got a positive COVID test. Because why? Because that's the fucking right thing to do, right? So I was like, I'll take another one in the morning. Got up the next day, still feeling like shit, headache, body aches, face ache, like my head was tingling, burning. Like I was so freaking tired. Like I'm always talking about how tired I am. And I have been tweeting for the last few days. Can I please just get back to normal tired? Because this shit is stupid. Anyways, I took another test that morning, came back positive. So what I do, I'm quarantined, like I'm staying in the house. Had to get food, and actually I couldn't even eat the first maybe 4 days. Like I didn't have an appetite, couldn't really stomach anything. And it was whack. Like it was so fucking whack. On top of the fact that I was supposed to be moving, y'all. Like I was supposed to be moving. How is any of this gonna work? How? So I had to push the move back like 5 days or something, or however the fuck long it was. I finally got a negative COVID test on Christmas. And I pushed out, the movers were cool, everybody was cool. I had a fucking situation with let me get this one more time. Xfinity can shut the fuck up because I fucking hate them. Like, why did they cut my internet off at the old house on the day that I was supposed to move, as if I hadn't called them and canceled? And like, I never even set it all the way up. I called them to tell them, to see what promotions and shit they had going on. They didn't like cut it off at the old place and transferring the damn service, and I don't even live there. Like, so I had to deal with that shit. Like, I dealt with so fucking much in trying to get to this house. And then the icing on the cake. My plug, I was asking around. My plug said he knew some movers. I'm like, bet. He like, hey, just, here's his number, text him. Bet. Texting him, we set something up. I told him, then I had to text him again, tell him I had COVID, got to move it out. Boom. So we're, just kind of, texting back and forth to see like when we're going to schedule this. Scheduled it for one day. He actually had to go to a funeral. So we scheduled it for the next day. Why did these niggas, first of all, it was somebody uncle. Okay, let me just put that out there. It was somebody uncle. It was, and his homeboy that had did some time. Like he was definitely the shooter. Okay, I'm just assuming this from the tattoos. I don't know. I wouldn't fuck with him if it was me. You know what I'm saying? Um, so they pull up, y'all, in a pickup truck, a nice pickup truck, but a pickup truck nonetheless, and a trailer on the back. Not a covered one, just one of them like old school, like country ass wooden trailers. And this was for a 2-bedroom townhome, fully furnished. Me and my friend looked at each other and was like, not sure how this is gonna work. My friend was like, I'll get your electronics and we'll go from there. Like, we go see what these niggas do, y'all. And the only reason I have told this story, like I said, bits and pieces of the story to people. The only reason why I went through with this is because, again, I felt like this was somebody's solid ass uncle. Like, he was gonna get the fucking job done. And I'm like, y'all sure y'all gonna be there? He like, oh baby girl, don't worry about it. We gonna get it all on here. Like, I'm back. I guess after I said fuck Xfinity, I guess they was like fuck you too, because they definitely cut off. And I don't even really remember exactly where I was at with this whole story, but the word. I trusted them because I felt like it was somebody's uncle. Okay, like I'm like, they gon' like, I just felt it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just felt like he was like, he got his homeboy with the shits and was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm putting together a moving company. I got this truck, and ain't no box truck. It's a pickup truck, but I can't do the shit by myself. So he got his homie, and he's been doing this. Like, he's been moving. I took a picture of this, and I'm not gonna put it on the internet. Like, I don't know. Maybe if I trust you enough and you want to see it, I'll send it to you. Like, I don't know why I'm just a tad bit, just maybe a little embarrassed by it. But y'all, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So they got all the shit on there, everything, y'all, everything. And was like, all right, we heading over there. And I'm like, oh, okay, let me, I'm trying to hurry up and, finish putting some shit in my car. And they're like, don't rush. I drive slow. That's how I knew my shit was gonna be okay. And was my shit okay? Absolutely. Like, they got all that shit up in here, put up. And that, my friends, was my journey of purchasing my home. And I am so grateful. I am grateful to everybody that has had to sit and listen to me talk about this, everybody that has helped with my anxiety. Like, my anxiety has been so bad. And all I really wanted to do was to be able to come here and tell you guys, like, that I've done this. And like, over the past couple of months, I just couldn't, like, bring myself to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's just been so much going on. Again, even when I was supposed to come back, I'm realizing I'm still recovering from COVID. I still have like this so very bad fatigue, like I was talking about in the beginning. And it's been a wild ride, and it has not been easy for me, especially doing having to go through this process, the majority of this process pretty much by myself. I mean, again, I have my friends, my homegirls and shit, my extended family, and but nobody's here, and it's just been tough. You know what I'm saying? Like, some days I just feel like I just needed a damn hug. Like, but I am grateful. I had to take, I'm still low key. I'm still moving. It's almost almost been a month since I've closed. I still have to go back to the old place one more time to I have just a little bit of cleaning up to finish, but I did finally get everything out of there last week. And again, I had taken off like a week and a half from work to do all of this. And that whole time, like I was down, like I could not. And when I finally did move, which was what? Maybe the Monday or Tuesday after Christmas. Um I was still just a mess. Like, so I still have stuff everywhere. And what I'm finding out about myself is I might be a little bit OCD because all of this stuff everywhere is just killing me. So like I'm going and going and going and going. And like days like today, like I really have kind of just sat still. I was like, let me record this damn podcast and get this out the way so I can go on and get back, to my routine of recording. But like I painted in here in this office. I still have to kind of put it together. So I still have other rooms in the house that I have to paint. Like, y'all, I don't know what these folks that was living here was doing, but the paint job is horrible. And it looks like they just stopped mid job. They did like 2 rooms, and the 2 rooms were some mid, and they started on the other rooms, and it's literally like, paint rolled on the wall in the form of a W, and that's it. Like, I mean, it's like, it's a nice house, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm about to get a washer and dryer. I had to buy a refrigerator. I refuse to buy a stove. The stove is really, really nice, but it was like, the people before me probably lived in this house for 5 years, and they literally have never cleaned that stove, and it was disgusting. So I literally spent a day and a half cleaning that stove and scrubbing that stove, and I'm still gonna buy like new parts for the stove. Like I'm gonna buy new grates for it, and you know what I'm saying? Like, because it's just ridiculous that they had never like really cleaned it. So hired a cleaning lady. She ain't do too much. I mean, it's just been wild, but again, I'm grateful. Um, for y'all that's been waiting on the episode. Here it is. I appreciate y'all waiting. I appreciate y'all, checking on me, and I'm okay. Yes, I'm still tired. But I am, I'm just rolling with it. I still, like I said earlier, I haven't really gotten emotional about it yet. I'm pretty sure I will. It's gonna hit me at some time, and I'm just gonna be like, wow, like here I am. So, oh, and Peach, let me tell y'all about PJ real quick. So PJ cried for about 4 days until she realized, like, okay, this is all of my stuff, and my woman is here, and I'm just gonna go and get in the bed. And so it's like she has discovered the bed, and she just goes and gets in and she disappears. So like she's cool now. But like the first night, I was up all night trying to console her like a little. I did not sleep. And the next night she was up hollering again, but I had broke out in hives and I was very, very tired. So I took a Benadryl. So she was just up hollering. Like it just was what it was. When I woke up in the morning, she was still hollering. And so I tried to console her then. But she's fine now. I think she understands, this is where we at. She done found a little friend already. I've had some food delivered, and when I was going to the door to open, to look out for the delivery driver, there was a big white cat standing out there. So now I know, why she's been at the door howling and acting. So yeah, I mean, I'm settling in. I'm pretty sure that I will be talking to y'all more about it. I'm excited about this season. I have been doing a lot of season planning, reaching out to folks, and seeing who I can get on this season. And yeah, I'm back. So I appreciate y'all. Shout out to Podcast Happy Hour. Y'all already know what the fuck it is. I know we did not have a Podcast Happy Hour last month. And guess why? Because I had COVID, and like 2 other people in the group was sick. So we decided to just not do it then. and we're doing it now. So it's gonna be PJ. It's gonna be on January 21st. I think that's a Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, um, 7 p.m. Cat 7 p.m. Central, and what is it, 5 p.m. where the hell Chris is at. And it's gonna be on Audrey's platform. So let's look out for that. It'll be live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And we're looking forward to it. Like, we don't like taking time off for you know what I'm saying, for podcast happy hour. I mean, it's like we only do it once a month. I mean, we're together, we're constantly together and talking in the group chat all the time, and we have our little calls and avert all of our little crises and shit like that. But ready content. So I hope that you guys will tune into that. And I don't know, until y'all hear me or see me again, peace.